So, how far? Have you collected your babies?
I don't get that. But as a day like this, I don't even know who to vote for. See, that day don't come. I go just go there. Where I see people plenty. I go join them, vote my own, come out. Now go G.
No. That is not how it is now. If you want to vote, you have to vote for someone who has integrity, someone who has vision, someone who has experience, someone who can make our lives better.
Who can be that one now?
No any other person than Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because he is tested and trusted.
Now go there. Tested and trusted. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is our man. Shine Babamu.
Babamu. If you want to vote, vote for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Vote for the right leader and the right party, and watch your life turn around. Vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a better life.
You say, keep in touch. You don't call. It could be in the market, it could be in the store, and I'll just say, Ifan, how are you? Fine, sir. You don't call me. Sir, you can't blame me, it's America's stress. Maybe when I go back to Nigeria, I will start So help me welcome Dr. Kayode Shonoki. The next person I'm going to call on, I mean, he doesn't need the introduction because everybody here knows him.
Not everybody.
And he doesn't matter. Even people out of state, they've heard that name somehow, some way. He's another big uncle of mine. Please help me welcome Dr. Shafidin Amor. Also, we have another big man in here. I have to go and look at my paper to get the description correctly. Otherwise, I might be fired, and I don't want to be fired yet. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Director General of the Diaspora for the Tinubu and Shetima campaign director for the Diaspora. Please help me welcome Prince Ade Omolu. You see, we are learning every day. Thank you, sir.
All the way from Nigeria.
All the way from Nigeria. He's not here in Chicago. He came all the way from Nigeria to represent the PCC or PCC, sorry. So I know a lot of people looking at me. This boy said he called Asiwaju uncle. Who is he? He looked like an Igbo boy. Right? No. I know there are people who are wondering that. You were wondering that. Why? Igbo boy. You cannot call Asiwaju uncle. I know you. So I am the nephew of a great man, the late Dr. Nuruddin. I grew up in his house. So that's how I was able to call him. So for those of you who are wondering. So at this time, I am going to introduce some people at the high table. I'm going to start from my left. The honorable man. This man haunts me tired. Why was I haunted? That's another story. Tola knows about it. So please give a round of applause for Honorable Ajibola. Then is it okay if I call you Afa? Our Afa for the night. So please give a round of applause for Alhaji Lateef Shomina. Lateef, okay. Uncle. This man. Every time, another person, Madam, the only woman in the table. we have to change this thing, you know, this thing that we are doing. We need more women on this day. More women need to be participating in election, in campaign. All over the world, we need, especially our Nigerian women, they need to start being active in campaigns and in politics. So we cannot leave it for few people. So please, if you are here and you have aspiration to be a politician, don't be scared, jump in. And you don't know where your name lead you to. Please help me welcome Honorable Karat Animashaun Ajiboye.
Animashaun Ajiboye.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ajiboye. Animashaun Ajiboye.
From Atlanta, Georgia.
All the way from Atlanta, Georgia. We went international. Now we're in we're in interstate. I got you. We went international now, interstate. Oh, no, look at here. All right. This man that I want to introduce to you. Please, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Honorable Bello Oyakulome from Atlanta, Georgia. He looks very familiar, like somebody. You must have an uncle in Chicago or a brother in Chicago.
Maybe it's you.
Me? Well, hey,
He's the National Youth Leader, APC USA.
National Youth Leader, APC USA. So we have some celebrities in our place. Come on now, we're not just here, just like that. Come on, there's some celebrities. And you guys, are you aware that Oyakulome is not a Yoruba name? Just put that, just say it out. At this time, I'm going to call on an announcement. Okay, so this is our streaming live, www.asiwajuradio.com. Streaming live. So for those of you who have people who wanted to be here, they couldn't be here, you can send them asiwajuradio.com so they can join us. The person I want to call on now is the Director General of the Tinubu Presidential Forum-Diaspora. So he's the chief host for today. So if they don't give him food today, maybe he's in charge. So your son is his chief host. So if you come here wanting to eat and there is no food, that's the person to hold. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alhaji Tuji Kadri.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. And I thank you very much for coming. And I thank you very much for your support for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As you all know, my name is Tunji Kadri, and I'm also the Director General, for this forum. I'm going to do my best with my well over 200 members for Asiwaju to win this presidential election in Nigeria. And we also need your help to make a change in Nigeria. So that's the reason why I come to the mic, to talk to you guys, and to encourage us to reach out to our families, our associates, members in Nigeria with PVC to vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The reason why I'm doing this is because it's the best for Nigeria. I'm a big fan of Asiwaju. As a matter of fact, my WhatsApp page and my Twitter page are religiously dedicated for Asiwaju presidential campaign. This man is the kind of person that Nigeria needs at this time of our dying economy. We all know that Nigeria, we have a lot of natural resources in Nigeria that are yet to be explored. And there's no reason, as far as I'm concerned, for Nigeria's government to be borrowing money from outside the country. And look at Asiwaju, we can see what he did in Lagos. Look at the Lekki housing scheme, the Lekki free trade zone, the Eco-Atlantic City. To name a few, I believe he will do more for the entire country if he emerges as the president of Nigeria. It is our sincere desire for God to encourage him and be with him throughout this endeavor. Asiwaju is a forward thinker. He has the presidential map for this 2023, for this election. This man is surrounded with technocrats, achievers, people with foresight all over the country. And very soon, he will transform the whole country with his intellectuals. Asiwaju is the best for Nigeria, and we want you to trust him and vote for him. On the election day, I will snap by my ballot paper, and keep it as evidence for the next generation that I am part of the people that rescued Nigeria. We are all hoping for a better country for every Nigerian. Vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for president this February 25. God bless you. God bless Bola Ahmed Tinubu. God bless Nigeria. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for Mr. Kadri. Our food is still okay. So, a lot of time I hear people say the diaspora. Why are the politicians reaching out to the diaspora? We refuse to understand that we play a major key in voting in Nigeria. A lot of people do not understand that we in the diaspora, our money is making that country move. So I know that they've been working on diasporans to be able to vote, but as for now, we are not able to vote. So what should we do? As diasporans that sponsor, we spend about almost, the last time I checked, it was about $20 billion that is remitted into that country, from the diaspora to that country. So what that means? Your money should speak for you, even though you're not there. You use the money to tell people, hey, this is where I want you to go and vote if you want me to keep on sending you money. So please know that your voice can be heard by the people that you are sending money to in Nigeria. Moving forward, that's just my little campaign split.
That's good.
Moving forward, I am going to call on two guests to, I believe they have a presentation. So I'm going to call on Mr. Oyeklome from Atlanta and Mrs. Ajiboye from Atlanta.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys tonight. As a matter of fact, an hour ago, I just flew in from Atlanta, Georgia. I had the memo a little bit late. My boss right here told me yesterday that he was going to be here. And I told him, I'm like, I'll be here too, sir. So, and mind you, tomorrow evening, I'm heading to Nigeria. So, this meant a whole lot for me to be here with you guys. I see a lot of beautiful faces over here. Looking at the hats, everybody believing the same aspiration as we are. February 25th, we will be electing one candidate as our president, and that's Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Aren't you guys excited about that? Yeah. Aren't you guys excited about the change coming into Nigeria? Yes, that's what we'll be hoping for. Somebody who knows the system very well. Somebody who is going to tap into our resources and make Nigeria one of the greatest places on planet Earth. I wasn't prepared for a long speech, but definitely I also should be ready at any time being called upon. So all protocol observed. To everybody, my elders over here, I speak Yoruba too, and Lesa Erasa. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. My name is Oyahilo Mendelo. I am the APC USA National Youth Leader. Also, I am the Deputy Director of North America with the YWC. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. We have some, I have a toga here, you can see. I'm going to start by saying APC. Progress. APC. Progress. I am Hyatt Anima Sham Ajiboye. I'm originally from Lagos Island, Lagos State, and I reside in Atlanta, Georgia. All protocols duly observed. I want to say a big good evening to our leaders, our fathers that are on this table. Imam, my director, he also gave me the marching orders to fly in here this morning from Atlanta. But I want to say that it is such a privilege to meet you all. You know why? You all have some level of special DNA with our Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Chicago is his home, has been his home, and you guys are Chicagoans, so thumbs up to you. I want to say this too. Our mothers, I don't know how many of us don't speak Yoruba, but I'll try to do what I need to do. For our mothers here and our fathers, just like my brother just said, we want to be able to see, I count how many people in the family were. Atawara Adubo, Atawa Tamasope, go show me your PVC. I need numerical number. Oh, I have 50, I have 100, I have 20, I have 4. It doesn't matter. But I will pay confidently in your mélòó ni àwa nípa nínú ayé wọn. Tí wọ́n dẹ̀ máa gbọ́rọ̀ sí wa lẹ́nu. Tí wọ́n máa ṣe sùúrù ní ọjọ́ polling date yẹn. To make sure that they vote in our Bola Ahmed Tinubu is very critical. We had the man who had no shoes, with due respect. We know what happened. We know what happened. We also had the man who's also very innocent, very corrupt-free. We also know what happened. Now we want to have the man that has the mixture of everything. That way he can deal with every corner of every issue that Nigeria may have. We don't want a saint. We want someone who can deal with any, the Christians will say principalities. From every level. So this is what we want to tell our people. Because he can do it. He can look at the whatever. I had a father. They wow, you wait. Of APC USA, and I also ran for Lagos State Governor.
Round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. Okay. You guys said, you just sang a song, right? And the song said what?
There's a word I'm looking for. Thank you, sir. But you are sitting down. How are you standing on this mandate? So we have to take that back again. So you have to stand up and sing that song again, because you cannot be sitting there and say we shall stand. Then you want to crawl with that now. Don't let the campaign crawl, please. So let's stand and sing that song all over again. Okay? On your mandate we shall stand.
On your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate, on your mandate, on your mandate we shall stand.
Again.
On your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate we shall stand.
Asiwaju.
On your mandate, on your mandate, on your mandate we shall stand.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. See, don't you feel relieved a little bit? You've been sitting down for all this time, so now you feel a little bit relieved, right? So, you just sang a song, on your mandate we shall stand, right? So, who can tell me what the motto of Bola Ahmed, Asiwaju and Shettima campaign, what is it? If you can give me that, I'll give you a free visa to Nigeria right now. Right now. Free visa. On the spot. There are people that need visa to go to Nigeria. You are there. Huh? Ticket. Go on. So who can give me that? Who can give me the motto? The motto of the campaign? Nobody? No, now unity, sir. What is it? You guys need to do your own work. He's right there in front of you. He's right there in front of you. I beg, please say it. Renewal hope. We need hope in Nigeria. So please, if you don't learn anything, remember renewed hope. So at this time, moving forward, I'm going to call on Honorable Ola Ajibola to give us the opening remarks.
So, my name is Ola Ajibola. If you don't know, I'm ABC chairman, Chicago. I've been hungry. The last time I saw my sister over there, 2013 in our convention before we became APC. So it's good to see you. I think I saw you in Abuja too, right? At the inauguration, right? To see you again. Thanks everyone for coming. They would like to welcome you to Chicago to Tinubu Shettima Presidential Forum APC USA. Most of the things my dear friend Kodri says a lot, what we need and what we expect. We're still pushing for diaspora to vote, but most important thing that we share with every one of us tonight is grassroots. And we are the grassroots to make things happen for our principle to win the election, to become the president of Nigeria. So while we encourage all diaspora is to make a phone call to the friends, family, tell the friends to tell friends, their co-workers, their spiritual leaders, your old high school classmates way back in Nigeria. Okay, it's very, very important. Even though you can call a friend from other parts of the world to call their people, because we need a number. And it's our mandate to win 2023 for Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Shettima. As if I was asked around, the renewed hope is what our leader is bringing back to us as continuity of what's going to do for Nigerians. If you look at the last 8 years, we are doing more infrastructures. I believe no one seen the last time we had a train running in Nigeria. So I took a train ride in 2021 So that's a part of things that our leader, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will continue and will invest in Nigeria and employment. So once again, I would like to welcome everyone for your time tonight to come out during the Super Bowl. I really appreciate you are investing in Nigeria. You are investing in the next generation of Nigeria. Thank you so much, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, sir, Mr. Ajibola, Honorable Ajibola. So the next person I'm going to call to the podium, I've had a lot of encounter with this man in my youth age. Yeah, where he scolded me differently. So, and I believe this is the first time in I've been MCing for a long time, and this is the first time I will actually introduce him. So I'm a bit kind of like, okay, what do you say? So, he's a mentor to me. He's also a father to me. He's an uncle to me. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Amuru.
Amadibo. Amadibo. To make noise. Amadibo. And to bá ní àní wọlé ìgbálẹ̀ yìí la máa gbà wọ́n. Tó pọ̀ Chicago yìí. Pọ̀ Chicago yìí. So I want to thank the Lord for ensuring that my brothers put this together. Many of us, I know, be old, we don't have the energy to do many of the things we ought to be doing. But they do have the energy. They talk with us all the time. We give praise to them as we give praise to Allah. This guy, Tunji Kodri and his wife, Obisi, and all of them, they do the best they can. So now, you pray Almighty for our brother, our father, grandfather, our uncle, our friend to have good health. Amen. To be able to manage the resources and humanities of Nigeria. One thing we know about Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the fact that he has the audacity to be able to say, I want to run for the presidency of Nigeria. Yes. Is that true? Yes. Yes. Now, one thing that we know about him is that he has spent most of his life supporting other people. People will talk about his non-self-serving and his attempt to make sure that people rise to the level that they deserve. So you can see the trajectory. So I want us to please pray to the Lord to grant him energy. Running Nigeria is a Gandatua's task. If anybody comes out, that person needs to have the respect of all of us. Irrespective of what we think about him, irrespective of what we think others think about him, irrespective of the lies and the propaganda and all of the issues that people talk because they don't like him or they don't like us. He had made a lot of sacrifice over the years. The sacrifice has been such that he doesn't receive credit for all of the things that APC does. But what does he receive? Blame for those things that APC doesn't do or APC doesn't achieve. People are pretty forgetful of the things that happen in Nigeria. We all know what happened before 2015, don't we? We were well aware of the fact that Nigeria was really on the trajectory of collapse. Many of you do know, maybe some of you may be too young, but not at all. 2015, just a few years ago. So my brother put together all these parties and said, we go for it. Only Amadibo. Then what happened? Adibo. Adewale. Please give him a round of applause. We know for sure that he liberated all of us of PDP at that time. But people don't remember that. I have a lot of friends who argue with me in terms of the interests of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, my interest, the interest of our friends, and the interest of those of you who are here today to ensure that we make sure that Asiwaju is our president. But I know that most of you who are here are well assured of the fact that well before 2015 of executive level of government of Nigeria didn't look like you, didn't talk like you. They were non-Yorubas, right? And this is no, I'm not campaigning for Yoruba or no Yoruba. I'm just trying to kind of lay out the facts. And one of the reasons why many of you ought to be more proud of him rather than spending time trying to put him down. It's extremely stupid. I said that word. Although Asiwaju, I said that please don't call anybody names. Please don't fight anybody. We won't fight. Please don't beat anybody up. We won't beat them up. We will talk the facts. And he doesn't mind us talking the facts. So I want to thank all of you. I want to thank the speakers, especially Prince Omoli, who came all the way from Nigeria to do this. And to the younger people, I don't want to call them young people because they are younger because they're a little bit younger than me. So if you see me putting down my gray hair here, is because I haven't paid for it, and I will pay for it once Asiwaju becomes the president of Nigeria. Today is the Super Bowl. What is today? Super Bowl. And I have many friends here whose interest was to watch the Super Bowl. But we get it up so that we could be here. But we have Super Bowl of elections in Nigeria, don't we? Yes. This election coming will be the most consequential election that all of us have ever experienced. I've never voted in Nigeria, but I'm going to vote now. And you might say that this man who is closer to 80 than 70 has never voted in Nigeria. Because I've been in Chicago for 53 years. 53 years I've been in Nigeria. I've been in Chicago for 53 years. So I've never voted in Nigeria. But when I was leaving, it was the military, so I had no chance of voting after all. So this is the most consequential election. That is why it's extremely crucial that you stay in touch with your people in Nigeria, with our people in Nigeria. Please don't take this for granted. Don't just say because, well, so much is going on, there's turmoil, there's issue of money, there's issue of gas, petroleum not being well distributed. I want you to take a look at this as if your life depends on it. And your life doesn't actually, because you're going to vote wise. You're going to make sure the people that you support in Nigeria vote in the manner you want them to vote. You know how many billions we send to Nigeria every year? In 2021, we sent $21 billion to Nigeria. So if your money couldn't talk and you couldn't talk, then you are in trouble. So the interest here, we know as of today, so many people have made up their mind to vote or not to vote. And those who have made up their mind to vote have decided whom to vote for. Our interest is to convince our folks to go and vote. I'm not trying to convince people to vote Bola Ahmed Tinubu or anybody else. We know those people are going to vote. We know for sure that Amadibo, Amawale, you know for sure I'm not a politician, right? One of the things I always do, I'm not a politician. One of the things I always do when people ask me to come and talk, come and do a few things, and I don't have this gift of oratory. So I ask, how many minutes do I have? That's the first thing I always ask. And you will say, you have 5 minutes, you have 10 minutes, you have 20 minutes. I will say, I need you to be specific. Because I'm long-winded, but I always finish my syllabus. I'm long-winded in the sense that I always want people to get it correctly. Because if you try to summarize things that need to be done, then you haven't achieved anything. So when I talked with them, they told me, busy, where's busy? I said, Tunji. So if I go beyond 20 minutes or 10 minutes, it's busy that said, you have 10 to 20 minutes. So my head was spinning, and when I went to sit at Starbucks yesterday to think, I was thinking of 10 to 20 minutes. So if my brother's over there, I know that Dr. Sonoiki always talk about me keeping it short. Let me tell you a quick story. I was a dean and I was responsible for students for a long time, and many times I asked Dr. Sonoiki to come to the big hall at the University of Illinois so that he will to start the clapping. So whenever I say something, he will start the clapping, others will follow. So this day was in 1999. So he came in, and this conference was during the lunchtime. It was American Public Association meeting. And I was the chair of the Black Caucus for the National Committee. So Sonoki came in, he sat down, and I signaled to him that you know your job. So I said something, he will clap. So I got to a place where I said, no, because of the austerity measures, many times Sonoki doesn't listen, but he knows when to clap. So I said, because of the austerity measures, we're going to cut class from admissions from, I believe, 600 to 400. This guy wasn't listening, he just but they almost told me. So I know I'm not a politician. I'm in academia. And one of the things that is very important is that we not only follow directions, we also make sure that we use our intellect as well as opportunity to ensure that we address all of the issues of concern. I'm driven many times by the motto of my school. I finished from Methodist Boys High School. I don't know if any non-CBs here, but that's okay. That was the best high school in Nigeria for a long time. I'm not sure of now, but it was. So those of you from grammar school might want to snip at me, but it was always the best. So you have to deal with the credibility of who is giving you the information, right? So we were here, I've been in Chicago for 53 years. So we in Chicago here, we fought for ensuring that all of you here that probably walk around with Nigerian passport or American passport, we, the two of us here, I didn't see any other person who was part of it.
I'm not 50 years old yet.
Yeah. Sure that you have Nigerian and American citizenry, and it was signed by, can you believe it? It was signed by Abacha. What did we do the next morning after that? Because this guy was trying to appease us. So he signed, said, okay, you can have it. Babangida, all of them said you can have it. What happened the next, I think it was Monday, to the front of NBC and ABC to do what? To protest the military. And he said, look at these bastards, I just signed the thing for them. It just shows that our interest is Nigeria, not anything personal in any way. We know we will win this election. We know regardless of what they put in our way, they can change Naira to francs, from francs to CDs, and to CDs to pennies. We will win this election. What is most important, my brothers and sisters, is to make sure you make those phone calls. Please don't take anything for granted. Tell your folks, my folks, to please make sacrifice for the next few days. You may sacrifice. They don't know what you do. They don't know what you do here at all. To reach down your pocket, to go to the bank, to go to the currency exchange, to go all these people, to send money to them. Do they know? No. They don't know. People do not know the many times I had to sleep in pier room. There's a place at UIC they call pier room. I had to sleep because I was going to the next job. So I finished at the post office, my earlier years, because I wanted to go to work the next, about 2-3 hours later. So I would go home. I would just sleep in the pier room, right? But they will never know that. They just know that he's now a professor of public health. He was a dean of public health. He just did that. So you don't tell them unless you need to tell them. So if you can make such sacrifice that you make every day to support your folks at home, they ought to make the sacrifice to make sure in the next 10, how many days do we have left? In the next 10 to 13 days, they make the sacrifice to get to the polling and vote for BAT. It's really very important. You make it very clear. I'm sending you to school. I'm supporting your aspirations. I need you to support what I need. And I need is what? We want to Adadibo, Amadibo, Amawole.
Tinubu di president. Ṣẹ́yìn màmá lọ́wọ́ sí. Ṣẹ́yìn youth lọ́wọ́ sí. Tinubu di president.
I don't say this word very lightly, and those who are I'm not a sociologist. I am into sciences. I train people who want to get MD, MPH, MSN, PhD. But to say that if you don't vote the way we want it to be, it will be an existential price against the polity of Nigeria. Because I mentioned earlier, this election is very consequential. You can't just ignore, you can't just say they have no fuel to get to vote. You can't just say they can't change money. You don't need money to get to the polls. You also need to remind them of what you have to do to support them. Are you with me? Yes. What you have to do to support them. And you do support them. $21 billion to get to Nigeria. Don't tell them not to worry about all these nonsensicals. I know in Chicago there are quite people, a number of people who who don't care, quite a number of people who want to say something. They were not here when we were fighting for Nigeria. They were not here we were ensuring that people have dual citizenship. They were not here when we were transporting $42 million worth of equipment to Nigeria. Did you know that? There are many of us here who transported $42 million worth of equipment to Nigeria to support our people. And I personally was the signatory to 15 million pair of glasses that went to Nigeria. I was the chairman of what we call 7th Congressional Health Task Force. Dr. Sonenki was the co-chair with me. So you have to use your position of influence to make sure that we support Nigeria, and that's all we did. Distributed glasses between West Africa, Uganda, Kenya, and Nigeria. So, my message to you, I don't want to spend time to articulate all of the issues surrounding and the success of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or describe the type of governance. I know the governance will be such that will include all of you, to be all-inclusive governance. Will be full of possibilities, be full of ideas. He will listen to all of you. He will listen. I know that for sure. I've worked with him personally. We never slept in the same bed, but we eat together. So you have to understand, it's my credibility I'm putting on the line, and I just told you that I'm very credible. I have to be credible to make sure that for a period of 15 years, nobody else in this country got blacks and Latinos to medicine, public, and nursing than I did. Aren't I credible? That's right. Please, sit down. So a lot of credible are supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I was so credible that I was invited to the US Congress July 1st, 2004, and they gave me a plaque on the floor people. The last time I checked, nobody else has risen to the level whereby he or she could get that plaque. So we are credible to be able to support our son, our brother, our uncle, and by the grace of Allah, we will get it done. Ahmad Diboli.
Thank you very much, sir. Spoken like a real professor who was taking us to class. I felt like writing. I left my pen and paper to jot down some things. Another thing that I am privileged to know was the same group. There was a time, I think in the late 90s, there was this thing going around that Nigerians are fraudsters, Nigerians are this, Nigerians and that. They wrote a letter to NBC, directing NBC to correct that statement. That Nigerians, we are doctors, we are lawyers, we are engineers, we are not all fraudsters. So please, give them a round of applause. They've been working for Nigerians forever, since they've been in America. So, they say you cannot call the left hand and don't call the right hand. This other man I'm about to bring, you cannot see one and don't see the other one. If you like, let there be a wedding in London, both of them will be there. Let it be in Kashatan, both of them will be there. Ladies and gentlemen, another one of my mentors is also a father to me, is also an uncle to me. Please welcome Dr. Chonoki.
Could you just put your hand together for yourself? Also, put your hand together for the organizers of this program tonight. Lastly, put your hand together for Asiwaju. This time yesterday, I was on a cruise on the Atlantic Ocean when I talked to Quadri, and he keep on praying for me. He said, "Hey, Mom, I did you." So I changed my flight twice to make it here today. You know, Dr. Amu said everything. We've been here together for 53 years. We are so proud of all of you in this room. All the young, I won't call them young, but the energy they are putting in right now, we need you, and I say it every time, we need you. Because when we were fighting for those cities that Dr. Amu mentioned, it was a fight. It was any of you that have American passport, Nigerian passport right now, you could walk into Nigeria anytime, you could come back here anytime. It was a fight. Let me tell you, Dr. Moore mentioned about the equipment we took to Nigeria. It was over $40–50 million. If any of you hear from anyone, oh, they get $1, they get $2, you call any of us and say, you're liars. When he's talking about credibility, that's what I want you to have in mind. We fought for over 21 18-wheelers, 18-wheeler trucks to be shipped to Nigeria, equipment, incubators, X-rays, equipment, name it, we shipped to Nigeria. Not one penny we took. Why? Because our friend Asiwaju Bola will wake us up every morning at 2 o'clock. I said, Captain, what do you do? That is how the guy works. Now, how much can I tell you about this guy? You guys have read so many, you have read so much about him. The people he has brought from nowhere. You know, Dr. Amu didn't mention to you. Dr. Amu, when he was at U of I, he would go to the street of Michigan, anywhere, any corner, to take a child on the street and say, here, you come here, what are you doing? So many doctors today, so many dentists today, so many pharmacists today. I made a decision. I opened 28 clinics for Mr. Stroger. I opened Providence Hospital in 1993. I was first MD at Providence Hospital on 51st Street in 1993. So I just briefly say this to you because we need you. It doesn't come too often. Remember Chiba Olawa came about 12 years ago? Or 2 years ago? How many years ago? 1979. No, seriously, I want you to think about this. It does not come. You know, Martin Luther King went. Chief Awolowo came and left. This is opportunity, like Dr. Amu mentioned, and some other people said it. It's time for us. This is our time. You know, Asiwaju is not because he's a friend for 400 years. It's not because he's a friend. It's because it will make you appreciate who you are. It's a friend of the rich. Is a friend of the struggling. As you could see, go back and see how many people have been around him. They are 90% of them have been successful in anything they want to do. And as a listener, it doesn't matter who you are. Believe me, it does not matter. Sometimes we are riding. Dr. Amu, I don't think you remember this. When we're eating at somewhere on rushed with, and there was a guy, he's a cab driver, and he happened. What happened that day? Something happened. Do you know Asiwaju get information, and I will not mention the name. The guy is doing very, very well. That's the kind of guy he is. Dr. Mo said he will listen, and I can show you our credibility is on the line. He will listen. One day we were at his house. There was a guy we saw there. We walked into the room angry. But slow down. That's the kind of guy he is. And I want to ask you, I beg you, I appeal to you, please. Unity is strength. It's not the amount of crowd that you have, it's the outcome. I remember when Awolowo was running, he would go to the north, the stadium would be packed. He would spend 40, 50 minutes talking. When what's the name of the other guy that won against him? 3 minutes. He would go there, hey. 3 minutes. So what I'm trying to say to you, please, I love you guys having conferences. I love you having town hall. I love you having, but please, like Dr. Mo said, pick their call. Talk to Igbo, talk to Hausa, talk to everybody. Even right here. Like Dr. Mo said, every day here we can call from people here in Chicago. There's some of them are negative, but that's life. You cannot live on behalf of those negative people. You have to move forward. So I want to thank you, and I want to thank you, and I want to thank you again. So you all please, when you leave here, get your phone, call. We gotta do it. This time we gotta do it. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So, wait. Did you wait? So, I know you've been you heard from Dr. Mungo, you heard from Dr. Shonoki. They are good friends of Asiwaju. The equipment thing that they're talking about is, I was part of those people that were moving the equipment too. I was the small boy that was carrying it. This was in 2003. So for anybody who wants to go and confirm when the old Cook County building, if you want to go and verify, when the old Cook County building, all the equipment from there went straight to Nigeria. There was no other. There was no other community, the Spanish community, the Polish community, none of them were able to touch any one of them except Nigeria. So that was a big thing, and this happened under Asiwaju. So it was a collaboration between them and Lagos State. So please, go and verify. Everything we're saying is true. I've had a lot of experiences with Asiwaju myself, but there was a day in downtown, and he was at the Regency Hotel, because that's where he normally stayed back then, at the Renaissance Hotel right there on State Street and Walker Drive. And he was at the back, I think he was on a phone call, and a Nigerian guy happened to see him. And I said, oh, governor, this, I'm broke, I'm that, and this. And Asiwaju doesn't know this man from nowhere, dipped his hand, and whatever cash was in his pocket at that time, he gave all of it to him. So that's the kind of person this man is. He's willing to help people, whether he knows you or he doesn't know you, he's willing to help. Like I said, I've had a lot of experience of this. There are people who have gone to him, or my daddies will make a phone call and say, this person needs a job, or this person needs something
can you help? And you say, okay, send me the information, or send me the resume, or send me something, and they will get something. My elder brother, Dewale, also was in Nigeria, and when they called for him to get a job, Asiwaju said, send me his resume. And we sent him the resume. Within a week, he got a job. So this is the kind of person that help, no matter where you're from or who you are, as long as there's availability and you're willing to work and you're available, he will give it to you. He will get you in. So the next person I'm going to call is a special guest of honor, all the way from Nigeria. He came. Don't you guys feel special that somebody came all the way from Nigeria just to talk to you about the man that you know already? So please give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. The Director General of the Tinubu Shetima campaign diaspora. Please welcome Prince Ade Omole. A round of applause.
This time yesterday, I was at the Abuja rally in Abuja. It was about this time yesterday. I think I left around 7 p.m. for the airport to ensure that I actually get it today. But I want to bring that Abuja rally to this, that Abuja vibe. Thank you for that. My distinguished members of the high table, please permit me to stand on established protocol so that I don't take too much of our time. I'm quite delighted to be here this evening. I'm always delighted, and I also feel honored when I'm invited, especially by progressives in the diaspora. Because for us, I think it's a double whammy. I'll come back to that after my speech. I think it's quite important and quite delightful that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not just a Nigerian hero. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a global brand. Please permit me to start my presentation this evening by congratulating the executives and members of Tinubu Presidential Forum, TPF, Diaspora, for putting together this laudable event in a very short time. This conference couldn't have come at a better time or at a critical moment in our nation's history, in which the TPF is already an integral part and will henceforth be expected to play a far more critical role in the 2023 presidential election that will birth the Fifth Republic and a new political dispensation. Let me also commend the team, that's the entire team, for the support and contributions that they have given, both individually and collectively, as individuals also, to continue to give the APC administration since the inception of the APC in 2015 up till this particular time, up till now. As an unapologetic progressive that you all are, your support and contributions that you have extended and will continue to extend to the progressive government of President Muhammadu Buhari is evidently and seamlessly being extended to the APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who, God willing, will be sworn in as the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, the two primary pedestals on which our campaign is hinged are: one, the accomplishments of President Muhammadu Buhari, most especially his giant strides in the nation's infrastructural development, much of which are quite unprecedented. And secondly, and most importantly, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's superlative achievements when he was the governor of Lagos State. Three things actually stand Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu apart. It certainly sets him He put those three things actually put him head and shoulders above the others. For me, I believe he's the only candidate. The others, he's the only candidate while the others, I call them this. When people tell me that there are three contenders, and I tell them there's only one contender and two pretenders. I know that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the only contender in this coming election on the 25th of February 2023. It is therefore our duty as party loyalists and progressives to showcase the president's accomplishments in the infrastructural development area as part of our campaign leading to the election in a few days. This should be emphasized because the Tinubu-Shettima presidency is duty-bound, and for the sake of our country's growth and development, to take Buhari's infrastructural development to enviable heights. He has laid, our present President Muhammadu Buhari has laid a very solid foundation. And that's why it's quite critical at this time that we actually elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, somebody who can actually build on that foundation. It takes a very long time to build and it's quite easy to destroy. But our President Muhammadu Buhari has done his best, and we want Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu at this critical point in history to now build on that good foundation. The second plank of our campaign is our man himself, which is the superlative accomplishments of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the governor of Lagos State for 8 straight years. A good number of those accomplishments are also unprecedented. Since time and space will not permit me to reel out this so many of them, legion of accomplishments at this conference, and you probably are aware of most of them. What I want to say here is this: that it's even a bit, I don't want to use the word annoying, but it's a bit, one feels a little bit frustrated. Probably not frustrated, maybe a little bit not too happy for the fact that Asiwaju's opponents are still in the race with him at this time, when what Asiwaju actually achieved in human and material terms, when compared to that of Alhaji Abubakar Atiku or Mr. Obi, it's nowhere to be, there is just no basis for that comparison whatsoever. And what we're saying is this, that looking at the antecedents of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in fact, there shouldn't be any argument whatsoever. There shouldn't be any basis for debate who we should be voting for and who Nigerians should be voting for. And you can see that at the rallies that we've been to. I've been to the rallies in the north, I've been to rallies in the west, I've been to rallies in the south, I've been to rallies in the east. Even in the east, where Peter Obi is from, you can see the response of Nigerians. Nigerians are actually yearning for the presidency of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yes. A critical analysis of Asiwaju Tinubu's action plan is another pointer to the superiority and preparedness of our flag bearer. The Diaspora Directorate, Tinubu-Shettima Presidential Campaign Council, has released an easy-to-understand video version of the Asiwaju Tinubu's action plan for a better Nigeria. I'm not sure how many of you have actually seen this booklet. This is the action plan for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is the action plan for Nigeria. It tells you he's the only candidate on the ballot who has an action plan. And we know what an action plan means. It means that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not only prepared, he's ready to take action from day one of his presidency. While others are talking of manifesto, I will do this, I will do that, maybe I will try and do this too. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is telling Nigerians that I've done it before. I know how to do it and I will do it again for Nigeria. I've done it in Lagos State and I'm now willing to do it for Nigeria. I have done it in my constituency. I know the way, follow person way Sabi Road. That is what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is actually saying here. The only person with an action plan. The 4-minute video, which will be played after my speech, we've actually compressed that into a 4-minute video. We're aware that not everybody will have the time to go through a 72-page document. It's a detailed document because it's an action plan. We will play that video after my speech. This video actually complements the 80-page action plan by helping Nigerians home and abroad to quickly grasp the major highlights of the APC action plan. Essentially, the APC presidential action plan prioritizes national security, obviously, economy, agriculture, power, oil and gas, transportation, social services, and education. The major highlight of the action plan is broadly the 10 promises geared to foster a new society that is based on shared prosperity, tolerance, compassion, and the unwavering commitment to treating every Nigerian citizen, home or in the diaspora, with equal respect and due regard. The action plan proposes building a Nigeria, especially for our youths, where good jobs with decent wages create a better life. Another critical sector or crucial sector that will be manufacturing, creating and investing more of the goods and services we require. And what does that mean? That means exporting more and importing less. In an economy where we actually import something as basic or mundane as toothpick, I think it's about time that we start doing most of these things. We start manufacturing most of these items at home, and we export them too because we have the capacity to do it. 3 things that actually stand our principal aside is 3 things. He has the competence, he has the character, and he's somebody that has the experience of actually doing this before, which are 3 very vital things that you will require the president of a big country like Nigeria to have. When we import less, as in importing less, continuing to assist farmers, modernizing and expanding public infrastructure, making primary healthcare, education, and housing accessible and affordable for all, providing electricity and creating a security architecture to combat crime and terrorism. Yes, President Muhammadu Buhari has done a lot, but we will build on that, and assure on that, because he's a man who understands not just the politics of Nigeria, he also understands governance to a greater extent. There is an addition to this, which also concerns Nigerians in the diaspora, and that's diaspora voting. So since 2016, I also double as the chairman of the Nigeria Diaspora Voting Council, and a long time to actually put a bill together. That bill was a members bill. There are 2 types of bills in Nigeria. You either have a members bill or an executive bill. I remember I sat with the President Muhammadu Buhari, and he told us that, look, Mr. Omoli, if we can get that bill passed, definitely I will assent to that bill. So we went to work. We went to create the bill. People thought we were joking. They said, you guys won't go far because Nigerians don't really want it now. But we said, no worries, that's what we want. We actually like the challenge. We prepared the bill, we took the bill through the member, it became a member's bill, it passed first reading, they thought it was a fluke, it passed second reading, people sat up and started looking up, okay, there's something new actually happening, And again, it passed through third reading, and then this bill was also sent, it was at the end of the day voted down after the third reading at the joint sitting of the House of Reps and the Senate. But that tells you something. It tells you that we have to actually get started. A journey of 1,000 miles, they say, actually starts with the first step. So we, the NDVC, have taken the first step. But for the very first time in the history of Nigeria, being part of the Presidential Campaign Council with the Diaspora Directorate, in the action plan for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu on page 72 of this action plan, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the only presidential candidate that has actually gone out with his action plan to say that Nigerians in the diaspora will now be part of the political process in Nigeria. So, the icing on the cake is the inclusion of Nigerians in the diaspora in all aspects of the democratic process, especially working with the National Assembly to explore the amendment of the Nigerian Constitution to allow greater diaspora representation and participation. The diaspora voting initiative, which is one of your heart's desires for people from the diaspora, is no longer a question of if, but when, because of its inclusion in the party's action plan for this campaign for the Tinubu Presidential Campaign Council. You can now see in vivid color, ladies and gentlemen, why Nigerians from all walks of life in the diaspora should support Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to become the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is also obvious that Asiwaju will make Nigeria a country that the diaspora will be proud to call home based on his action plan. Yes. Just as he made Lagos State home for Nigerians from all parts of the country, including people from the African subcontinent, we must roll up our sleeves to make this happen. And it shall happen by the grace of Almighty God. Amen. So when we hear Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu say he will build on the legacies of President Muhammadu Buhari, deepening the involvement and participation of Nigerians in the diaspora, in the socio-economic activities of our country, if he takes the mantle from our president, is precisely what he meant. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not talk. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a man who talks and he will do it. He's a talk and do person. He says what he means and he means what he says. One of the speakers said earlier on that Asiwaju is a courageous person. Asiwaju is also an audacious person. He's an audacious leader, a leader of leaders. He's somebody who's actually bold to take very difficult decisions as long as he knows that he will implement them and it will be for the benefit of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So, we're saying it can only be a win-win situation for the country and the diaspora, who are always yearning to contribute their own quota to building a great nation. With Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the saddle of in the next political dispensation, I have no doubt in my mind that Nigeria will be great in our lifetime. Now, this is what it boils down to at the end of the day. Can you see this? This is what's called a voter's card, PVC, permanent voter's card. For Nigerians in the diaspora, before I left Abuja yesterday, there was a particular stand that was devoted to Nigerians in the diaspora. I must say a big thank you. Let me seize this opportunity to say a big thank you to Nigerians in the diaspora. Nigerians in the diaspora are beginning to arrive in Nigeria to cast their ballot in the February 25th, 2023 elections. For those who are on ground, that's for those who are on ground in Nigeria already. People are already arriving to cast their ballot. You know why? Because they have their PVCs. This election, yes, we will pray. Yes, we will sing. Yes, we will dance. Yes, we will vote. At the end of the day, it's this PVC. We need to do whatever we have to do within the ambit of the law to ensure that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu becomes the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, we are praying, but this goes beyond praying. When you pray, you also have to do the work. I always say something, it's not in the bag until it's in the bag. We need to knock on those doors. We need to go seeking for these votes. We can't take this for granted. As we're praying and working, some people are also working to undermine the elections. Please let us go out, let's encourage our people to go out and vote so that we win overwhelmingly by 4 p.m. on that same day. People are talking about the next day, 2 days later, 3 days later. Now there's a BVAS, there's something called the BVAS. a beavers in a device that will accredit you, that will accredit voters, and will upload the results in real time. So by 4 p.m., 6 p.m., 5 p.m., whatever on that day, please let's ensure that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is already won on that particular day. We're not going to wait until the next day. We can tell. Yes, INEC will actually announce the results, but we will know in real time and who is winning and who is losing. Losing is not our portion. Winning is our portion. We will vote, we will win, and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be sworn in as the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on the 29th of May 2023. So please let us go out there and do the needful. I will not bore you with what to do. The video in a 3-minute video will tell you what to do, how to add value to that campaign from the diaspora. For those not going home, please watch this video. It will tell you what you have to do from the diaspora. The diaspora is of this election in Nigeria. Please don't listen to what they're saying. The diasporas don't vote. They don't matter. We matter. Nigerians in the diaspora matter. Nigerians in the diaspora contribute to the economy of Nigeria. Nigerians in the diaspora are voting in this election. Nigerians in the diaspora are going to be calling their people in Nigeria to vote for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. When he wins, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has also promised me that Nigerians, he said it in public, he has told me in private, he has said it in public, that we may not be able to vote now, but there's no law that stops him from actually appointing and actually seeking the help of Nigerians in the diaspora to be part of his presidency from the 29th of May 2023. So I'm telling you, I'm informing you Nigerians in the diaspora, please, let's do the work. The reward is there. Let's do the work now. Let's call our people. Let's digest the content of the action plan. Let's eat 1 to 15. That's what the program says. We have a program that is on running at this time, 1 to 15 people. When we get back home, write 15 names. I'm from a very big family, so mine is 1 to 25. And I can tell I've got 28 already that are voting because of me. So one person, call 15 people minimum. You can call more. Please, let's call our dad, our moms, our relations, father, mother, employees, even concubines. Let's do the girlfriends. Later we go and reconcile. Let's call everyone. Let's go out there. Let's actually make it big for our principal, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Thank you so much for listening to me. We will rejoice. Thank you so much. This is the 4-minute video. I crave your indulgence to just watch this video. It's a 4-minute video. It's a summary of the action plan. It gives you an idea of what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be doing as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This video was actually put together by the Diaspora Directorate, and I can tell you, when people say people in the diaspora don't matter, no one thought about this. We put this video, and I can tell you, by the last time I checked yesterday, this video had 36 million hits. 36 million hits. There's no other video like this. Everyone is sharing in Nigeria, and this was put together by the Diaspora Directorate, which is myself, yourself, and all members of. So please give yourselves a round of applause. Please, the video. Thank you.
itching to ask your question. I just want to say one thing, please. Let's be respectful. Let's be cordial. And make sure that, you know, the question that you are asking, that it will really benefit the people, because you want to get information from all these people at this table. 2 minutes is too much for one person. So 1 minute. Each person, I guess, that has a question has a minute. So the floor is open. Who has a question? Question? Raise your hand, please. Okay. Here we go, this gentleman.
Good evening, sirs. My name is Febuary Adeniyi. Good evening, stars and ma'am. I want to start on the existing protocols from the high table to the general audience. My question goes directly to the last speaker, Prince Adi Omale, with due respect. I can see the highlight of what's been displayed, but I really want to put it to you that what are the provisions for we youths in Nigeria? I'm an APC member at the grassroots level, and I will want to tell you categorically that I have a lot of friends that are more vibrant than me in terms of education and civilization, but I believe now they all die with their tenant. I mean, the talent, the IQ, the tested IQ, they have this idea, but they didn't see the opportunity to execute it. So I really want to ask you, what are the programs that Asiwaju has for the grassroots? I'm talking about those that doesn't have anybody at the top. In Nigeria right now, for you to be a security man at Central Bank of Nigeria, you have to have a family that is among the director of Central Bank, which is not like that. Most of us are educated, most of us are civilized, we got the certificate, we got the knowledge, but we don't have the place to use it or to execute it. Thank you very much.
For that question, sir. As for the youth, as the action plan has actually explained, 3 things are quite important. One is retraining. Retraining, now we live in an ICT world. What he intends to do, what the action plan says, first is there will be loads of retraining. And I'm sure, and secondly, I'm sure you're aware of the hubs. There are a few hubs that are actually been created by the Buhari administration. He's actually going to expand on that to provide the opportunity for youths, because obviously, if you look at the stats, the youths, we have more youths in Nigeria than even those above 50 or actually close to 50. And thirdly, he is actually going to embark on a large industrialization project. That will also provide job opportunities for the youth, teaming youth with different experiences and in different sectors. And you can be assured that this time around, you don't have to know Mr. CEO, Mr. MD to be employed, as long as you have the training, the right training, and you are qualified to be in that position. He's actually promised that, and we're sure that he will definitely do that. So for the youths are there's that cliche that the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. But with an Asiwaju presidency, the youth are actually going to be the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please don't forget asiwajuradio.com, so that people know who we are.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ahmed Amo. I would like to ask the speaker, what is the cause of the Naira scarcity? Is this from the presidency or and the fuel scarcity as well? What is the major cause of this problem? Thank you very much.
What you're talking about. For the fuel scarcity, well, the official position is the fact that few distributors, as in those are meant to provide or take
the product from the depot to the filling stations. They are working with the opposition, but again, that's an allegation that no one can really confirm. It still remains an allegation. But the most important thing as a government, as a people's government, is this, that whatever the allegation is, that we at least try to resolve that issue. That I can also inform you and confirm that before I left Abuja, it was really pretty bad about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But I can tell you in the last couple of days, that has actually eased. And the NNPC, their agencies are actually looking into it. And it's not as bad as it used to be. And I'm sure that probably before the end of next week or so, this product should be available in all filling stations. And also, I must also repeat or state that it's not in every state that you get this fuel scarcity. It's mostly in Abuja for obvious reasons, and a few states actually surrounding Abuja. But in other states, fuel is, you can get fuel, you drive into a filling station, and you will get it. As for the cash, yes, that's a major issue. The cash, it's quite, the official position again. We understand that CBN took in trillions, but actually, produced or printed just a few billions. Obviously, you can't expect, when you take in trillions and, you only print billions. But again, the president, Principal Asiwaju actually waded into that saga. And before I left Nigeria, I think this was sometime early last week, the president invited the CBN governor and a few other stakeholders. Again, that's being looked into. I remember the president said it should be given 7 days. The 7 days is up, and I know that the CBN also issued a directive that banks should start paying over the counter, because what they did was they actually stopped paying cash over the counter and not sent customers to ATMs, which is what we call cash points here in this part of the world. But I think that also is in, but at the same time, it will take probably a week or two. Some have said that that policy was probably ill-timed and probably not well delivered. I agree with that. It's ill-timed and not well delivered. But again, it's still an APC government, and I believe that President Muhammadu Buhari took the right decision in actually summoning the CBN governor and directing him to also resolve that issue, which is being done as we speak. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies, where are you guys? It's only the men I'm seeing.
Yeah, I just recently finished my master's, and I just have, I'm not actually asking a question. It's more of like a contribution. So I heard that the Nigerians in diaspora participating in the coming in government. And I just wanted to say that the Nigerians just fail to harness the power and the knowledge that youths have gathered, like studying here in the US. For instance, I did my master's in public administration, and I was opportune to be a part of some projects in rural West Virginia. Something that I learned from them is they don't wait for what their government can do for them. They also ask the question of, how can I help my community? So there's something called participatory democracy, where people in the community always have this probably twice in a month meeting where they come with concerns, and then they look at the resources that they have, both human and natural resources, and then they use these resources to probably take care of the problems in the community. And this is kind of like also engaging some public administration, like administrators like myself, to cook up an action plan, which they try to execute. So I'm just saying, probably if true to what they said, they were going to be having the Nigerian student, probably the Nigerians in diaspora are going to be a pivotal part of this government. They just need to probably reach out to Nigerian students that have been able to learn best practices here and work with them, and definitely we are praying that we can be like some of these countries, and maybe that could work.
What is the plan for the Asiwaju and Shetima campaign that for the diaspora, Nigerians in the diaspora that they've come to study, they've learned how to move things forward and how to get things done? What is their plan for them?
Thank you so much for going to that question. Now, there are Nigerians here in the diaspora, because I'm also a Nigerian in the diaspora. It's just I've been in Nigeria for a very long time. So I understand their mindset better now. And I also, don't let us forget that there are Nigerians living in Nigeria that are also very smart. There are Nigerians living in Nigeria that are also intelligent. So the fact that you're in the diaspora does not give you an automatic ticket to any job or any, you see, so let's always have that too, as Nigerians going back to the, Nigerians in the diaspora going back to Nigeria. Having said that, obviously, we Nigerians in the diaspora, we've lived here in this part of the world, see how things are done, well educated, and we have the experience. But again, going to Nigeria is a different ball game. It's totally different. What works here may not work in Nigeria. What you do here may not necessarily fit into the Nigerian. So you need to understand that. Now, having said that, I'm not saying it's not possible. I mean, there are Nigerians, there are consultants, there are people in different professions doing fantastically well in Nigeria. I don't want us to have that self-entitlement that because I'm coming from the diaspora, I should be put in the front. No, that's not the way it works. When you go to Nigeria, you also join the queue because there are people there too, also doing the same thing, and probably they even have more experience than you coming from the diaspora. And when I say experience, I don't mean professional experience. It could be the fact that they understand the environment more than you do. But again, we're all partners in progress. Whether you're Nigerian in Nigeria or in Nigeria living in the diaspora, I think we should work with our colleagues in Nigeria to make Nigeria a better country. That's the way we will get over this. I can't find a job because I'm from I'm somebody coming in from the diaspora. You need to we in the diaspora need to find a way to acclimatize our experience, our education, our qualification, and make it fit into the Nigerian environment. Yes, we will add value. Yes, we add value, but I don't think we should be going to Nigeria with a sense of entitlement that because I'm from the diaspora, I should be this. It does happen, but I think we still need to work at it. And as for the question, the Asiwaju Shetima plan for Nigerians in the diaspora, I think I mentioned part of that in my speech. That Asiwaju himself, Tinubu, even in London, he actually said this in London, that we may not be able to vote. Obviously, he's actually put that in the action plan, that Nigerians in the diaspora, he will work with the National Assembly. His presidency, the executive, will work with the National Assembly to ensure that the amendment is actually done, so that Nigerians can vote from their host countries, like other African countries are already doing. So he's actually promised that. But pending that time, he's also said, and this is in public too, that he's also ready to engage. He will be engaging Nigerians in the diaspora to be part of the development for our great country, Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So after this question, there's one more question. Okay, two. That will be my two more questions.
Yeah. So what I think from what you said, I had a personal experience when I went to Abuja, and we had a lot of ministers there, and there was a town hall meeting, and we were asking, many of us that were from the diaspora were asking them questions. And one of the things that I said at that point in time was that I would like to volunteer. So I'm sure that's where you're coming from. Thank you. Thank you. So the opportunity for us to volunteer will be created by our director. He will create the opportunity, and we all will stand there to ensure that we have this hub where professionals, where professionals come from the diaspora to give their all to support the system for growth and development. Thank you so much.
All protocols observed. I want to thank the gentlemen and my sister there that came all the way from Atlanta to make Chicago look beautiful. Look at this crowd. Give yourself applause. So, about Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, I know the man very well. We grew up in the same, almost the same area, Ekwetedo, Agarawu, and stuff like that. If we remember back in January 15, 1970, just before the end of the Civil War, I know I was very young at that time, but I remember what happened. That General Yakubu Gowon and late Chief Obafemi Awolowo and Anthony Enaro and all of those people, they changed the currency. And I know the rationale behind changing that currency was to deter the Biafra war. After all, that's why Nigeria won against Biafra war. So now, oh, by the way, I'm a journalist. My name is Olawale Idris. I'm the publisher of Africa US Today magazine. So I'm trying to crack my brain. What is the rationale behind the government of Nigeria right now changing the currency and shortage of petrol? I just received an email that a woman in Nigeria, in Lagos somewhere, just went naked at the gas station and sprayed the gas station and all the cars there with her petrol. She did not want only die, but she wanted to take many people along with her. So well, we know that's part of frustration. So my question now is, what is the rationale behind the government changing the currency as of now? I'm trying to think that maybe they want to replicate what happened in 1970. That's the only way they can get to the election. I don't know. I'm just trying to look for something to write for my magazine. Thank you.
This is this is what I hope it's not another Sahara reporters. But I mean, actually talking seriously. Talking seriously here, this is a campaign for the Tinubu Shetima Presidential Campaign Council. Now, for the APC, for the CPN's reason, for the CPN's governor's reason for actually redesigning the Naira, I think that question was actually put to him. I remember I watched it on Channels TV. And the reason for that was the fact that the courts had not been changed for a very long time. There's no law stopping him from doing it, and he had to do it. Again, yes, that's to an extent that's true, but lots of Nigerians have actually questioned the timing of actually redesigning the Naira at this time when we have a major election on the 25th of February 2023. And I remember that even Asiwaju Bola Tinubu also questioned the rationale for actually designing the Naira so close to a major general election in Nigeria. Again, it's been done. It's not been reversed yet, but I know there was a Supreme Court judgment just a few days ago. I think, I believe it was sometime last week, that the old Naira and the new should coexist for a while. So that's ongoing. That's what the Supreme Court the Supreme Court actually said. So, and the Attorney General actually came about 2 days ago to say that they will respect that judgment. So for now, we have the new and the old coexisting, and I'm sure with days to come, maybe before the end of this week, the cash saga will be resolved. Hopefully. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good evening, sirs and ma'ams. To our father, first and foremost, I want to appreciate the work of Professor Abu and the team. That's a wonderful thing. Tonight, I believe we are here to tell ourselves the gospel truths. You look and see the President Febuary has done well, but look as if he's not supporting Asiwaju. Because I believe we want things to happen, right? And we want things to happen fast. We have less than 2 weeks to the election. Based on the question asked by the journalist, in state governments, a policy is coming and the same people are attacking the same policy. It gives some of us a serious headache. That really, because I knew well when Febuary was contesting the way Asiwaju went around this country with his life. But even so today, this thing is happening to the extent, if you look at the rally did recently, sometime the highest time the president speak is not up to 10 minutes. And sometimes I see people telling him to speak in Hausa. And these are things that give a lot of people a serious headache. And I believe we need to work seriously to actualize this dream if we still believe we are one. That's number one. Number two, today, people are talking about, some of us, we have the BBC, right? Some of us visit Nigeria. And I don't know, people have been running from Nigeria. I just came back from Nigeria February 23rd. January 23rd, rather. The truth of the matter, the security, the way people talk about it here is so funny. I went there, traveled around, and left the southwest. Everything was solid. The only problem we have, if you look at people killing, is individual, family killing themselves. That's the gospel truth. And when you look at it, most of them are business or money-related issues. Or you go to Nigeria and you begin to proud that you are this. And he has said it. If you are here and you think because you are in America, you want to go and be great in Nigeria, forget it. They don't see people are killed long time. They want to get those things done. And you came overnight, you see you can override them, you miss the way to tally. Tonight, I pray Asiwaju become the president by February 25th. Amen. But the first thing is there's something common to us in Chicago. Asiwaju is from here, right? We are suffering for something that is very, very serious. Consulate is in Atlanta, is in DC, he is from here. I believe you can speak on his behalf. If you cannot, please call him. We are putting it forward to you tonight. If he can give us assurance that when he becomes the president of this country, the first thing he's going to do is to give us a consulate in Chicago. Some of us, we are going to mobilize ourselves and give him that vote. But if you are not hearing anything from that, the high time people promising us and failing us has gone. Yes. So if you are here to represent Asiwaju, please, we are appealing tonight. You have to give us the assurance that we are going to have a consulate in the year 2023. And we are going to mobilize friends, family to vote for him. And again, we want inclusive government. We want inclusive government where everybody will have the opportunity to become somebody. We came to this country because we believe in this country. Somebody that doesn't have anybody in this country can become somebody. People have been here, they left this place to Nigeria. They see the system, how the healthcare system is working here. You see where the laborers are doing things and things are working. It's high time we come down to basics and do something great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. That 4 questions in one. Let me actually take you from the last one. The last one, an inclusive government. I think that's even part of his action plan already. And I did mention that in my presentation that if any president is going to do or implement an inclusive government, it will be Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And we're not saying this because of the upcoming election. We saw that when he was the governor of Lagos State. We had people from all over Nigeria that are members of his cabinet. And you can see Lagos State. Lagos State is like a melting pot. Lagos State is open to everyone, from whether you're from the east, north, west, south, everyone actually, to the point that even people from another part of the country are saying that they actually built
Lagos. That shows how cosmopolitan and how open-minded that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is. He's somebody that will include everyone in his government. Now, number 3 is the assurance about consulate. Now, I can only pass that message. That is beyond me. I can't promise what I can't, confirm. But the thing is this, this is what I'll say about that. When it comes to international relations, there are so many factors that actually determine where consulates, embassies, and so on are actually located. I'm sure at some point, I know that a transition committee was actually put together by President Muhammadu Buhari, meaning he's preparing to leave, was put together by President Muhammadu Buhari last week. They're going to be inaugurated on Monday, tomorrow actually. Well, it's now, I think it's today in Nigeria. They will be inaugurated today. And one of the people that have actually been named as part of that committee is the Minister for Foreign Affairs. So I'm sure those are part of the things that they will be discussing when it comes to transition, and also when his government actually takes on. Now, but again, I'm not here. I can't really promise that yes, there will be a consulate here or there, but I will definitely pass on that message. But one thing I want you to also, because that's what we complain about, the fact that he's from somewhere does not necessarily mean that should be the consideration for having a consulate. The fact that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was formerly in Chicago does not mean yes, because I was there in the past, so I should put a consulate there. I think there should be other crucial factors that determine where a consulate should go to. So, again, don't let me mock what you've said, but it shouldn't be because he's from here, or he's schooled here, or he lived there, that a consulate should be put here. I think there are more important factors. For instance, if there are more Nigerians here, why not? Obviously, there should be a consulate here. So I'm sure the Minister of Foreign Affairs will probably look into that, and recommendations will be made to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For the second question, you mentioned the fact that you will travel to most parts of the West, and the way we talk about it in the diaspora is not what it is. I totally agree with you. In fact, in the United Kingdom, it's even worse. When you read the papers, you go on social media, you check all the erroneous and fake news being shared on social media, you think Nigeria is a war zone. Look, I've been to campaigns, the APC campaign in the north. We were the Jos rally, the Jos flag off, and we went by road. We've been going by road to most of these rallies from Abuja, sometimes from Lagos. It is, like, I'm not saying we don't have security challenges, but it's not as bad as you read in the papers. Press, they seem to focus on that. Maybe that's what sells their pages, their papers, and so on and so forth. Yes, we have security challenges, but it's not as bad as you actually read in the newspapers and all these blogs. And that's why most times, most people don't really take these blogs seriously. And as for the number one question, which is the fact that PMB, President Muhammadu Buhari is not with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, I will go by what President Buhari said himself at one of the rallies. When he raised the hand of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he said that I support him, he's a man of integrity, and Nigerians should vote for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He has said that not once, not twice, and I believe him for what he says. Maybe I understand that there's also another story out there, that there's some people, in fact, a few party leaders have actually mentioned that there are some people in the, they're called the cabal, whatever they're called, that don't want Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And this is what I say. This is what I say to them. This, that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is ordained. We will work for it. He has said it himself. Ama Dibu, Ama Wone. It's not the cabal or whatever they are called in Aso that will determine who wins or who is the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The people of Nigeria will decide that. We will vote, and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will win on the 25th of February 2023. And we will shame whatever group they are called, we will shame them on that day, because Nigerians will speak with one voice to tell everyone, tell the entire world, that we want Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be the next president of Nigeria. Thank you.
Can I respond to questions numbers 2 and 3? In terms of number 2, which has to do with security, I don't know of anyone in this audience that has lived in Chicago. I'm talking about Chicago now, longer than I have. Maybe this old man here and our friend pastor over there have lived here for that long of time. We've seen how the issue of security has transformed over time. I know for sure, I used to be much thinner than this. I used to work from my house. I've lived in the same place for 32 years. From that house to the gym. Every morning, 6 o'clock, 7 a.m. in the morning. I can assure you that my wife will never let me do that this time. Why? Because this issue of security is pervasive everywhere. Downtown used to be much, much safer. It's not. Now, let's think about Nigeria. I'm not saying that we don't have these challenges. I'm not saying that at all. I feel much safer in Lagos. That's the only place I can compare now than I feel in Chicago. And I've lived here, I've lived over there. I go to Nigeria every 3 months because I have a non-paying job of serving in the Lagos State University Council, and I'm the chair of scheme committee in Lagos. But I can work anywhere right now. But we thank God that I'm safe. But we don't know what will happen anytime. But my wife would never let me walk to the gym anymore. That's Chicago. Now let me go to I believe number 4, in terms of the consulate. Several years ago, many of us, there are some people here who actually had a petition that many of us signed in terms of consulate in Chicago. I can't just one out, because there are many of you here, your friends, your fathers, your sister, and your uncles that will not sign the form because you are too busy to sign. It's a game of numbers. Atlanta had more signatures than we had. That's why we did not have a consulate here in Nigeria, in Chicago. So you need to go back now, regardless of what happens on the 25th. We know Asiwaju will win, and we know that he's a supporter. We know that Chicago is the center of civilization in USA. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. One more question.
If anything Chicago wants, Chicago will get.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here this evening because of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Jagaban of the universe, Ariago Febaland. Because I've met him so many times, and the way he approaches people about things, he will listen to you. He's so caring. When he was in Chicago, when Dr. Amuwo was having his 17th birthday, I spoke to him and he listened to me. But the reason why I'm working for him is because during the primary in Abuja last year, I sponsored some people to Abuja to vote for him. And after the voting, I had a voice, because people don't know the reason why I'm working for him. I had a voice that said, work for him. I swear to my God. So when we are campaigning for him, I'm using all my strength, all my power within me. Even in Nigeria, all the Southwest, I have coordinator, and I'm happy the way they are going around. Which I pray in 2023 we have now, by God's grace, in February 25th, he will become the president of Nigeria. And I'm seizing this opportunity again to thank my brother that came all the way from Nigeria because of this. And all my sisters that are behind all this program. Dr. Amuru, I thank you so much because you are my uncle's friend and you've been there for me since when I know you. And Dr. Kayode as well. And the way you are doing it, I know you people, like you said, you are not politicians. But all what you are doing now is better than some politicians. Because you are using all your power, all your means, all your effort, and all your money to work for Asiwaju Bola and Tinubu. Which I pray that all what we are doing will never go in vain. Amen. And we will reap all what we are doing for Asiwaju Bola and Tinubu. And God will give him long life to rule Nigeria for us. Because I know he is the one that can rule that country and take us to our promised land. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. So I have two questions from online. The first question is from, my name is Deji Akinfu, hold on, sorry. No, Akinfu Afiku Yomi from Spain, watching live. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, sir. I'm very, very sorry for that. My question is, what plan does the president have in supporting diaspora entrepreneurs who are startups?
Probably he missed it. Entrepreneurs are also Nigerians in the diaspora. First and foremost, two things. There's something in Nigeria, there is a program in Nigeria called Ease of Doing Business. But before I come to that, let me talk about the DV, which is the diaspora voting. Entrepreneurs too, also Nigerians that actually want to vote. They need to be part of the electoral process in Nigeria, political process in Nigeria. So, what he's saying is this, and it's there black and white in the action plan. He's saying that he will work with the National Assembly to ensure that Nigerians in the diaspora are also part of the political process in Nigeria. That's number one. DV being one of them. DV stands for diaspora voting. And secondly, for Nigerians in the diaspora, we will improve the ease of doing business. Ease of doing business in Nigeria. We have an agency that's actually looking into that. And I understand that we'll be moving up if you look at the ease of doing business stats, the global stats, the global index, will be moving up since the time of President Febuary. And with an Asiwaju presidency, I'm sure we will do far better. Because remember, he's not just a very good politician, he's not just somebody who has been in government, he's also somebody who's worked as, who's actually worked in Chicago, USA, as an accountant. If you remember, the man is also, our presidential candidate, is also a seasoned accountant. So we understand businesses and how to actually improve them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, from UK. What plan does Asiwaju have in his manifesto on youth participation in public office?
Yes, that, but again, I will just put a summary. First and foremost, he's actually given, I think, about 2 pages of that in his action plan. Please, everyone, and to Ms. Eti from the United Kingdom, if we can go to, like I'll repeat it twice, it's called teamtinubushetima.com. Again, it's www.teamtinubushetima.com. I'll repeat it for the last time. It's www.tinubushetima.com. And also, if a video person can also type that and bring it up on the screen, www.tinubushetima.com. It's got, we can download a soft copy of the action plan. It's got the profile of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, that for those who don't know, and it's got the profile of our vice presidential candidate, Senator Kashim Shettima. And in addition to that, there are a few erroneous and fake news that have been going around. Asiwaju is 101. Asiwaju's daughter is 96. Also, Kashim Shettima was dining with Boko Haram, and all sorts of, funny stories, fake news. We've actually, on that site, on that page, www.tinubushetima.com, you will find answers to all those erroneous news, because we believe we have to do that. Again, that portal was actually put together by the Diaspora Directorate so that Nigerians will actually have the facts of what happened, and all the pictures have been showed on, been posted on social media about our vice presidential candidate, dining with terrorists and all that. We've actually put the facts on that site so everyone can go there, read them, and not just read them, please read them, and also inform and educate our fellow progressives out there. Because when, like he said, when you tell a lie so many times, people tend to believe it. But we've actually provided the facts on that portal so people can read and also educate others. Again, the site is www.tinubushetima.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. So we're going to move on to the next item because of time. Thank you very much for all the questions. We've been enlightened today. Thank you, Prince Adeomole, for your swift to answer the questions. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it. The next item I have on my list is the presentation of awards. And this is going to be commenced by Architect Dr. Buki Oni. Please, a round of applause as you come up, please.
Good evening, everyone. You're all welcome once again to this special occasion. It is a great honor for me to be speaking before you all today. I'm here speaking in honor of a distinguished member of our society. He's the winner of this year's award, and we're going to speak to some of the things that he's done. He has served as a clinical associate professor emeritus at the University of Chicago, UIC. Following his official retirement, he left to devote more time to Nigerian affairs, both in diaspora and in Lagos State, Nigeria. He currently serves as the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Nigerian Islamic Association in Chicago, Illinois, member of Board of Trustees of the Light of Islam in Harvey, Illinois, member of the Lagos State University Governing Council, and has served as the consultant and initiator for the establishment of the Center of Disease Control and Prevention for Lagos State Government. During his tenure at the UIC, he single-handedly brought more young people and African American and African descents that believed in saving lives and preventing illnesses, surpassing any record in the history of UIC, thus advancing the course of Nigerians and African Americans in general. He has been and continues to be a great source of encouragement to us. He's a financial supporter and a wealth of wisdom to us all. We are here today to show our appreciation and recognize an icon in our society. At this juncture, I'm seeking your indulgence to invite the chief host of this special gathering in person of Honorable Olatunji Quadri to
present the award.
Dr. Amuwo.
I have the greatest honor of presenting this year's award to a very close associate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the unwavering support since the inception of TPF, Tinubu Presidential Forum, here in Chicago. Kindly put your hands together for Dr. Safidin Amuwo. Thank you, sir.
Good job. Okay. Congratulations. Maybe I ought to say something because I'm always long-winded, but this is going to be very short. I just want to thank the committee and all these people that support my dear friend in the diaspora. This is really a surprise to me. Coincidentally, about 3 days ago, I was cleaning the attic and I saw about 68 flags. Wow. So, and I no longer have an office at UIC, so I got somebody. I think I saw the person coming in earlier, but I think he has left. So I went to the basement and I asked him to please help me put all my flags in the basement. He charged me $650. And I said, just the flags? He said, well, they're worth a lot more than that. So this particular one, coming from my brothers here, worth a lot more than all the flags together.
All right, thank you so much. Please, a round of applause for our father, please. All right, now, I'd like to just give a brief, I'd like to say thank you to the organizers, and I want us to listen very well. On the screen, some few minutes ago, you saw a very interesting initiative that I created. I know some of us have heard about it. How many of us have heard about Asiwaju Radio before? Asiwaju Radio? Okay. So, to the glory of God, I put up this Asiwaju Radio. I initiated it, founded it some few months back, and with the motive of educating people about the great icon Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And this is a voluntary project, and this project has given back to a lot of information about Asiwaju. We hosted key leaders, friends, and associates of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu on this radio. Why I came up is that in the next few weeks before the election, we are going to be running a back-to-back conversation on the radio, and where we're going to be having people's views on the radio. We have morning shows, we have discussion shows. It's a non-stop radio show that's going to be happening as from tomorrow, and we'll be having top guests, people like you, diaspora and voices about Asiwaju, about Nigeria. Just come to free your mind on the radio. If you're interested in jumping on the radio as a guest or running your own show before the election or during the election, giving your own analysis about the election, please, you can get back to me or go on the website and send us a message. I would like to host you on the radio to voice your mind. Today we had a number of people across the world listening to us. Sometimes we have 2,000 listeners, 3,000 listeners across the world. We've hosted him on the radio and hosted different people on the radio. Festus Keyamo, a lot of them have been hosted. Different ministers and commissioners have been hosted. Governors have been hosted. Yaya Bello, a lot have been hosted on the radio. But we also love to host you, diaspora, and to also have your voice. The voice of the diaspora has a lot of mileage towards national development. Please, we'd like you, if you want to jump on the radio anytime, any day, please just get back to us, and we'd love to host you to have your voice, you know, to the outside world on asiwajuradio.com. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Just want to recognize Dr. Pastor Anafuye, Alaji, everything. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. I just want to thank the distinguished panel, Dr. Mole, Dr. Amuwo, and Dr. Shonoki, my very good friend, Amuwo and Shonoki. For those of you that haven't been in Chicago for too long, Amuwo, Shonoki, myself, Asiwaju, the late Dr. Olopopo, we were here in Chicago back in the days. And we know Asiwaju very well. He has the capability to organize, to bring people together. The Nigerian American Forum that we founded in Chicago not only include Yorubas, but Igbos, Hausas, Fulanis, everybody in the Chicago area was a part of this organization. We know what Asiwaju did. We know how he made his money with the biggest accounting firm in the world, really, in Chicago. KPMG, Anderson Consulting. So we know that this man is a very reputable man. We know what he did in Lagos, Nigeria. Those of you that haven't been to Lagos, when you go to Lagos, don't believe what you see in the news overseas. Lagos is no different from Chicago. When you go to BI, you will see very beautiful houses. You will see beautiful roads. You will see beautiful beaches. That foundation was laid by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential candidate. We know that when he gets in power, he will change Nigeria for the better. He will spend the money to develop the country. He will spend the money to develop the roads. He will spend the money to build schools. He will spend the money to build hospitals. So we really need to be careful of what we're hearing other people say. We need to believe in the truth, to ask the people that know, to go and see for ourselves. The people that are there, that have been stealing the money, that are not taking care of the people, Asiwaju is not one of them. He made his money legitimately. He made his money consulting. He made his money building that country, building the state of Lagos State, Nigeria. So do not believe anything that you hear. Ask your people, encourage them to make sure that they go and vote so that we can have our next president of Nigeria to be Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it. At this time, I'm going to ask the Tinubu Presidential Forum, Diaspora members and executive, please come to the front, please.
If you are a member
or an executive of the Tinubu Presidential Forum, Diaspora, please stand up if you don't want to come out so we can recognize you. So I was told you come to the front. Whichever, come to the front. While they're doing that, while they're coming to the front, at this time, I want to call DJ. Yeah. I'm going to bust him now because he only called me yesterday afternoon to come and MC this event today. Yesterday afternoon. So he owes me big time. This has been we've been in Nigeria together. We've run a lot of political campaigns together. We've done a lot of things in Nigeria together. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Honorable Tola Baniwe.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. You know, as I said, I only called him yesterday to have him MC anchor this event for various reasons, because we had someone that canceled, right? So thank you, Fanzi. Thank you so much for coming. Everybody here, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you coming from different part of the world. Oyakilome, thank you so much. You literally got here at 5 p.m. today. You like under 24 hours. My sister, Onayukairat, thank you. Please, you know, on Friday you were still in Abuja. my daddy here, Dr. Amur, Dr. Shonaiki, Alhaji Latif Shonaimon, thank you so much. We, the members of Tinubu Presidential Forum, Diaspora Chicago, everybody, everyone that you see standing back there, they contributed mentally, physically, socially, financially to ensure that this event is successful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. As everyone knows, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu spent majority of his life in Chicago, and every one of us has experienced one thing or the other. And for me, I was telling Prince when I picked him up, when I was in high school in Lagos, in Nigeria, Lagos, right? I remember he coming to my high school then. My friend, he writes for Vanguard right now. We're reminiscing about it, right? And I'm like, well, he has visions, he has technocrats around him to ensure that things that he wants gets done. And please continue to call everyone back home. If each and everyone here calls 10 to 20 people back home to go vote, it goes a long way. Just call them, please. There's so much I can say. Everyone in the audience, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And by the way, if you would like to be part of the group, and this is the time, to sign up and be a member of the group. Thank you. Please, we need to be more and campaign for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We need you at this critical time. Thank you, guys. Olubodun, I see you there.
So we cannot push this enough. Remember, we in the diaspora, we spent over 21 billion sending to Nigeria. And this is the only way we can show our power to tell people that we take care of, that we send money to go and vote to better their own life, so that the stress will get off of us. That's what we want. We want the stress to get off of us, so the country will be better. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. Thank you very much for coming. I was told you don't have to go home, but we have to leave here. Have a great night.
Actually, you know what? We still have time. DJ is gonna spin, dance, enjoy for the next 10 minutes.
And they say, once Asiwaju win, we are coming back to celebrate a big party here in Chicago. I'm announcing it. So let's go.
Aláàfin Ọ̀yọ́ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ìwọ ló bí akẹ̀lẹ́ Buhari àmọ̀bí Aṣíwájú làwọn àmọ̀ Amẹ́ríkẹ́. Àmọ̀bí aṣọ àgbà lèkó máa ń wá ẹni náà lórúkọ.